everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we are going to learn how to crochet the ponies Christmas stocking. Every year I like to add a Christmas stocking to my collection featuring a color worked design such as this one. So there are other Christmas stockings that follow this same style here on my channel. My daughter had been asking for one with ponies, so this is our pony Christmas stocking. It's a little bit on the larger side. It's going to measure about 7.5 inches across by 23 inches long. It is quite roomy and it's worked using basic crochet stitches and just a little bit of color work. The color work today in the crochet pattern and the written instructions is provided by chart. So a little bit later on I'm going to show you how to work the crochet chart and leave you to work it on your own before we head into the final foot of our Christmas stocking. Today for the tutorial you're going to need a little bit of worsted weight yarn. I'm working with the Heartland yarn by Lion brand. It is a medium or worsted weight yarn, 100% acrylic. There's about 250 yards per ball. You're going to need 2 different colors, and you're not going to use all of the yarn for the Christmas stocking. You'll have a little bit left over. You're also going to want a 5mm or an H8 crochet hook, and then as well a copy of the free written instructions which are on my website at richtexturescrochet.com, and you'll definitely want those so that you can follow along in the chart once we get to that point. I will link it directly down in the description of this video so you can check it out down there. Also down in the description I have links to my 2 crochet books that I have available on Amazon, intermediate crochet stitches, as well as barn quilt blankets, and those are there for you to check out if you wish. So thank you so much for joining me. While you're here, I invite you to take a look around. Don't forget to subscribe. This channel is updated every single week with free crochet patterns and stitch tutorials. Let's grab our hooks and yarn and get started. Now for our Christmas stocking today, we are going to work beginning up at the cuff, so up at the top of our Christmas stocking, and then work our way down to our toe. So you're going to choose which color you'd like to use for your color A. Today I'm going to be using this red color for the color A. It's called, let me see here. It's called the Badlands. So we're going to use this for our main color in our Christmas stocking, which is a little bit reverse of what I did here. I used the lighter color as my color A. This time I'll be using the darker color just to switch it up a little bit. So we're going to start by making a slip knot, and then with your color A you're going to go ahead and chain 72 chains. Once you have those 72 chains worked without twisting your chain, so I like to run my hand just down along the chain, make sure all the bumps are on the same side. Without twisting your chain, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of, or into that first stitch. You're then going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet stitch. We're now going to be working into our foundation chain around, and I like to work in the back bumps of my stitches. It's really up to you whether you work on those back bumps or into one of the others. It's just personal preference for me. It really doesn't matter for this pattern. You're then going to, for round 1, work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then double crochet into each stitch all the way around. So including that chain 3, which counts as 1 double crochet stitch, you will have a total of 72 double crochet stitches all the way around, including that chain 3. Once you come all the way around at the end of round 1, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of that starting chain 3, which was your double crochet stitch. We're going to continue working in the same direction, and for round 2 we're going to chain 1. You're then going to work a front post double crochet around the post of the first stitch, and the first stitch is our chain 3. So yarn over, bring your hook in front of your work and insert your hook from front, around back, and out through the front again around the post of that first starting chain 3. Yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 more. That is your front post double crochet. You're then going to work a back post double crochet around the post of the next stitch. To work a back post double crochet, yarn over, bring your hook in back of your work and insert your hook from back, around front, and out through the back again around the post of that next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 more. We're now going to repeat that pattern all the way around. Front post, double crochet around the post of the next stitch, and back post, double crochet around the post of the next stitch. Front post, followed by back post, and you're going to repeat this all the way around until you come to your first stitch. Once you come all the way around, you're going to finish off the round by working a back post double crochet around the post of your final stitch, and you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first front post double crochet. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so you're not going to join in it. Join in the top of your front post double crochet. Chain 1, continue working in the same direction, and now for rounds 3, 4, and 5, we're going to repeat our round 2. So beginning front post double crochet around the post of the first stitch, followed by back post double crochet. You want to work 3 more rounds for 3, 4, and 5, a front and back post double crochet stitches, and then you can meet me back here. At the end of round 5, we're going to switch to our color B and start working the color work in our pattern. So there are a number of ways that you can change color in a crochet pattern. This is one of the ways that I like to do it. When we're just before working your final stitch in the round previous to where you want to change color, or in the stitch, you're going to get your color B ready. And for the double crochet, we're going to yarn over, work our final back post double crochet, insert our hook, wrap it around and out again, yarn over, draw up a loop, and then yarn over with that color A and pull it through the first 2 loops. You're then going to drop the color A, and for this pattern we're going to leave it attached because we're going to be picking it up and carrying it through as we go. So just simply drop it, then pick up your color B, place it on your hook, and draw it through those final 2 loops. That's how we're going to change color. You can then tighten the top of a stitch a little bit, do what you need to do, and then join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. Now at this time, I'm just going to leave my color A hanging down here because I'm not going to be using it in the middle of a row or around anywhere, so I'm just going to leave it here for now. You're then going to chain 1. Now for rounds 6 and 7, we're going to work with our color B, and we're going to work in the back loop only and single crochet in each stitch around. So looking at the top of our stitches, we have our front loop that's closest to us and a loop that is furthest away. That loop that's furthest away from you is your back loop. So you're going to insert your hook, under that back loop only and work a single crochet. Work in the back loop only of each stitch all the way around and work a single crochet in each stitch. When you come back to that first stitch, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top, chain 1, and repeat. Work one more round of single crochet stitches in the back loop only. That will bring you to the end of your round 7. You'll have worked 2 rounds of single crochet stitches. We're then going to get into our color chart. So I'll meet you back here at the end of round 7. At the end of round 7, you'll have worked 2 rounds of single crochet stitches. You're then going to want to grab a hold of the chart. And this is our color chart that we are going to work with today. It is on my website at richtexturescrochet.com. There's also a great printable copy included with the PDF if you wish in my Etsy and Revelry shops. But this is it here. A couple things to note about the chart that we're going to be working. Each little square here, if I bring it up, each little square equals 1 single crochet stitch. As I am working my pattern here, my color B, which is represented in these black squares, it's my lighter tan color here. And then the white squares are going to be the red here in my stocking. If you need to make a note of it, just to remind yourself as you're working, you can go ahead and do that, depending on your own colors. For the chart, you're actually going to work the chart upside down. So you'll remember that you are working from the cuff down to the bottom. So you don't want your ponies to be upside down on the stocking, so turn your chart so that it's upside down. You can then start at the bottom corner and work your chart from the bottom to the top once you've turned it upside down. So in the instructions it says for rounds 8 onward, you're going to continue working in your color B, and you're going to begin down at row 36, which is the top of your chart, but we're flipping it upside down. So we're going to start at row 36, and you're going to work 1 single crochet for each square and alternate colors as needed. So you'll see here where we are working in our color B, we are going to start at row 36. We need to work 2 more rows or rounds of our color B. So we're going to have a total of 4 rounds. So just picking up my stocking here, chain 1, single crochet. You will always be working in the back loop only for this part of the pattern as well. So back loop only, single crochet in each stitch around, working with the color B. We're going to work 2 more rounds and then meet me back here. At the end of the second round, we're going to be switching, just to give you a heads up, back to our color A. So I've now worked, if I'm looking at my color chart here, I've worked the first 2 rounds of single crochet stitches, so I'm just going to check both of those off. Now I see that I'm going to be switching back to my color A for the next round, and it's going to be 1 solid round of color A. There's no color changes at this time. So in my final stitch of, let me see, that would be round 8, 9. So on the final round of stitch of round 9, I'm going to switch back to my color A. With the single crochet in the back loop only, I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over with my color B, and draw up a loop. You're then going to drop the color B, and because there's no other color B's in this round that I'm going to work, I'm just going to let it hang down on the inside. You're then going to pick up your color A, place it on your hook, and pull through. Now, if you are concerned about the string that you will have coming up on the inside of your stocking, at this time, if you would like to fasten off, weave it in, and reattach up top, you can do so. For myself, it's on the inside of the stocking. I'm going to pull it so that it's taut against the fabric, and I'm just going to continue working as I go. You're then going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch and chain 1. Looking at my color chart, as I mentioned, I'm going to work one solid round of single crochet stitches in my back loop only in this red color. So in the back loop only, single crochet all the way around. I'm now here at the end of my round 10, working my final single crochet. I'm going to join with a slip stitch into the top of the first stitch. And I want to, at this time, make sure I work under my color B, because I want to start carrying my color B around with me as I work. So down here on my chart, I am now on round 33, and I should have mentioned that when you're working this chart, because we're working in rounds, we're always working in the same direction. So if you're right-handed, you're always working from your right to your left. Left-handed, you're working from your left to your right. Always working. So you go across, come back to the start, and go across. It didn't matter too much for these first 3 rounds of our chart, but it will matter now that we are into our round 33. So here at round 33 on our chart, which is our round 11 on our stocking pattern, you're going to need to do a little bit of counting. So we're going to start, we see that we're going to start off working with our color A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 stitches in color A. So we're going to go ahead in our color A, we're going to work 21 stitches. So chain 1. As you are working this round, you are going to want to carry your color B with you, because when you hit stitch number 21, you're going to switch to your color B. So what I like to do, you can just leave it and carry it around. I like to work over it as I am going. So in the back loop only, and then I'm just working under that color B and work a single crochet. There's 1. We're going to work a total of 21 single crochet stitches, and then we know we want to switch to our color B. So in that 21st stitch, we're going to switch back to our color B. And you can see I'm just gently carrying it and working over top of it as I go. Just like so. Let me see how many I've worked. So I've worked 7, we're going to keep going for 21. So this is 20. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a quick look at the back. Make sure it's nice and neat and tidy. There's no loops coming out. It's not pulling too tight. And then for stitch 21, we're going to switch back to our color B. So in the back loop only, insert your hook, yarn over with color A, drop a loop, drop your color A, pick up your color B, place it on your hook, and pull through. You're then going to, as our pattern says, work 1 stitch in your color B. So immediately we're going to be switching back to color A. So with our color B, insert our hook, yarn over, draw up a loop, drop that color B, pick up color A, place it on your hook, pull through. So you've now worked 1 stitch in your color B. We're going to go ahead and work, let's see, we're going to do a little bit more counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So 23 stitches in our color A. Again, I'm going to be carrying and working over top of my color B, and we'll work 23 single crochets. Switching back to color B in that 23rd stitch. I'm at 13, 10 more to go. There's 20, and 21, 22, and then in stitch 23, we're going to switch back to our color B. According to our chart, work 1 stitch in color B and switch back to that color A. Now these ponies are spaced evenly apart, so we're going to work 23 more single crochet stitches before switching back to our color B. There's 13. (22) and 23, we're switching back to our color B, working 1 stitch in our color B, followed by 2 more stitches in our color A. So 1 stitch in color B, 2 stitches in color A, and then join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. That brings you to the end of that round, so I'm just going to check it off over here so that I can keep track of where I am. You're going to come back to the start of your chart and go down into the next round, where you're going to start off by working 20 single crochet stitches in your color A, switching to color B, work 2 in your color B, and then continue around the pattern. At this time, I'm going to leave you to work the rest of this chart. So again, you'll continue switching colors as necessary, work row by row, always working in the same direction, and then you're going to meet me down here at the very bottom, and you'll have finished off with one full round of your color A. Once you have worked through to the end of your chart, you're going to have, this is what your work is going to look like from the beginning. So we have our cuff, we've worked down through the chart, and we finished off on a round of color A. Now, one further note, I have, since I did the last part, updated the chart to include or to match the rounds that are in the written pattern. So my chart starts on round 8 and then finishes off on round 43, and that will bring you to the end of this final round. At the end of round 43, you're going to switch to your color B. So I'm just going to pull back here just a moment, and you're going to switch off to your color B. We're now back into the written instructions on our pattern, joined with a slip stitch, and we're now back into our written instructions for rounds 44 and 45. So for rounds 44 and 45 with your color B, you're going to chain 1 and work a single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch all the way around. So work 2 more rounds of single crochet stitches in the back loop only, and join with a slip stitch at the end of each round, chain 1 and repeat. And that will bring you to the end of round 45. At the end of round 45, you've worked 2 more rounds in your color B. You're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch, and at this time you can fasten off that color B and also your color A, because we're going to join our color A once again here for the heel flap. So set your color B aside just for a quick moment. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start working the heel of our stocking. To begin working the heel, you're going to start by finding the center stitch at the back of your Christmas stocking. And this is where you will have joined at the end of each round. Once you find that center stitch, so mine is right here where I joined, you're going to count 10 stitches to the right or to the left. If you're working left-handed, you're going to count over 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then into that 10th stitch from the center, you're going to join your color A. And at this time, you can join under both loops. Now with your color A, working under both loops, you're going to work a single crochet in the same stitch as joining, and then into each of the next 20 stitches. So you'll have a total of 21 single crochet stitches. And a total of 21 single crochet stitches. You're then going to chain 1 and turn, leaving the remaining stitches unworked. Now we're just working into these color A stitches for rounds 2 through to 8. So for 7 more rounds, you're simply going to single crochet into the first stitch. Your chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And each stitch all the way across, working under both loops. When you come all the way across, chain 1, turn your work, and repeat. You want to work a total of 7 more rounds of single crochet, rows of single crochet stitches. This will bring you to the end of your row 8. Once you have worked a total of 8 rows of single crochet stitches, this is what our heel is looking like so far. We're now going to work some heel shaping. So for row 9, we're going to chain 1, turn your work. We're still working in our color A. And you're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. You will have 5 stitches remaining. You're going to turn, leaving the remaining stitches unworked. Next, you're going to chain 1 and single crochet into each of the next 11 stitches. You then have 5 stitches remaining, chain 1, and turn your work. Now for row 11, you're going to single crochet into each of the next 11 stitches, into the first 11 stitches. You're then going to single crochet into the next stitch 3 rows below. So that was your row 8, single crochet. Just going to jump down. So we're skipping all these, jumping down into the next stitch, single crochet into that stitch and pull it fairly tight because you don't want to have any gaps. And then slip stitch into the next stitch. You're then going to turn, chain 1, and turn. For row 12, we're going to skip the first slip stitch. So our slip stitch here, skip the slip stitch, single crochet into each of the next 12 stitches. So skipping the slip stitch, starting in the next stitch, single crochet into that stitch, each of the next 12. You're then going to single crochet into the next stitch 3 rows below, which was your row 9. So you're jumping down this little height here, 3 rows below into our next stitch, single crochet and pull it a little bit tight. You're then going to work a slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1 and turn your work. You're now going to see that there's a little bit of shaping happening here at the heel. Now on row 13, you're going to skip that first slip stitch. You're then going to single crochet into each of the next 13 stitches. Single crochet into the next stitch 2 rows below. So again, we're jumping down into our next stitch 2 rows below, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. For row 14, skip the first slip stitch and single crochet into the next 14 stitches. Then single crochet into the next stitch 2 rows below and slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 15, skip that first slip stitch, single crochet into each of the next 15 stitches, single crochet into the next stitch 2 rows below. This is going to be your final stitch in that row. So single crochet, then simply chain 1, single crochet into that final stitch, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 16, we're going to single crochet into each of the first 16 stitches. 1, beginning right in that final single crochet that you worked. You're then going to jump down and single crochet into this final stitch 2 rows below. We're now going to turn our work and continue working along the side of our heel. And we want to work 8 stitches evenly all the way down. So there's 1. I'm going to work 1 more right into this corner. There's 1, 2, and we want to work 8 fairly evenly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You're then going to slip stitch into the next stitch on your stocking body. So into your next stitch on the stocking body, slip stitch into that stitch, and that would have been the end of round 45. And then you're going to chain 1 and turn, leaving the stitches, rest of the stitches unworked. We have one more row to work in our sock heel. You're going to skip that first slip stitch and then single crochet into each of the next 25 stitches. So there's 1, there's 10, continue across, it was 20, 21, that's going to bring you to the end of your stitches, and now you have this one final rough edge worked. Once again, you're going to work alongside of the heel and work a total of 8 single crochets. I'm going to work my first in the corner. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You're then going to slip stitch into the next stitch of that round 45 on your sock body, and then you can fasten off that color A. You'll now have finished working your sock heel, and this is what your work looks like. Once you have worked the heel of your sock, you're then going to move on and begin working the foot of your sock. Now in through here we have to work some decreases in order to make it more rounded and kind of less square here. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the back of your heel, and I've just marked mine here. If you wish to make it easier, you're going to count from the bottom of your heel and count 17 stitches, and that's going to help you find the center back of your heel. You're then going to join your color B in that center back stitch and chain 1. We're going to be working in the back loop only of each stitch all the way around once again. You're going to begin in that same stitch of as joining, and you're going to single crochet into each of the first 16 stitches. So there's 1, there's 10. I'm turning and working along the side of my heel now. And 16. You'll see that you're not quite at the bottom of your heel. That's okay, because over the next 3 stitches, over the next single crochet, the next slip stitch, and stitch on your stocking, you're going to work a single crochet 3 together. So we're going to work in the back loop only. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, drop a loop. Then into the stitch where you've worked your slip stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, draw up a loop, then into the next single crochet, yarn over, draw up a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops and pull this stitch fairly tight. You don't want to have any gaps through here. You're then going to work a single crochet in each of the next 47 stitches all the way around your stocking. Continuing to work in the back loop only each of the next 47 stitches. Once you've single crocheted in each of the next 47 stitches all the way around, you're going to work another single crochet 3 together, this time beginning in that first single crochet back loop only, into the slip stitch or into the space where you worked the slip stitch, whatever is easier, and then into the next single crochet, that first single crochet on your heel, back loop only. You're then going to continue working up the side, and you're going to work a single crochet in each of the next or final 15 stitches, working in the back loop only. You're then going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. We're now continuing to work in the same direction. You're going to chain 1, working in the back loop only. We're going to single crochet into each of the first 16 stitches. And this is for round 2 of our sock foot. I should have mentioned that at the end of round 1 of your sock foot, you will have 80 stitches. Once you've worked single crochet in the back loop only of each of the next 15 stitches, we're going to work a single crochet 3 together. And now it's fairly explanatory where we're working them and just working it in the next 3 stitches. Back loop only, single crochet 3 stitches together. Then you're going to continue around and single crochet into each of the next 45 stitches. Once you've worked 45 single crochet stitches, you're going to single crochet 3 together, working in the back loops only of each of the over the next 3 stitches. You're then going to work in the back loop only a single crochet in each of the final 14 stitches. You're then going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. Chain 1, continue working in the same direction. For round 3, we want to work one more round with a couple of decreased stitches. At the end of your round 2, you will have 76 stitches. So for round 3, we're going to work in the back loop only all the way around, single crochet into that each of the first 14 stitches, beginning with the same stitches joining. You're then going to work a single crochet 3 together over the next 3 stitches, again always working in the back loop only, and then single crochet in the back loop only of each of the next 43 stitches. Once you've worked a single crochet in each of the next 43 stitches, you're going to work a single crochet 3 together in the back loop only over the next 3 stitches. You're then going to finish off your round 3 with a single crochet into each of the next 13 stitches. At the end of round 3, there is no need to join your work, and instead you can use a stitch marker. And I'm just looking, I don't know if I have a stitch marker here on me at my table, but you're going to join with this, you're going to mark your first stitch with a stitch marker. And you're going to now, for the rest of the foot, work continuous rounds. There's no need to join, and just move your stitch marker up as you go along. So beginning right away in this first stitch, back loop only, you're going to single crochet, pull it a little bit tight so that there's no gap, and then single crochet into each stitch all the way around. At the end of your round 3, you once again had a total of 72 stitches. So we're back down to what we started with. We want to work 25 more rounds of single crochet stitches in the back loop only, and this is going to bring us to the end of round 29. Once you come to the end of round 29 for the sock foot, and that will be 29 rounds from where we started our decreases all the way up. So if you're looking for a way to count, you can just start here at your heel, working 29 total rounds of single crochet stitches. At the end, then you can join with a slip stitch in the top of that first stitch, and we're going to switch to our color A. You can also then at that time fasten off your color B. But begin by working through to the end of round 29, single crochet stitches in the back loop only. No need to join at the end of each round, just mark it with a stitch marker and move it as your work progresses. I'll meet you back at the end of my foot. Once you reach round 29, this is what your foot is going to look like. You've worked from your heel, then 29 rounds in total all the way, and we're now going to begin working the toe. So before you join with a slip stitch at the end of your final round 29, you can join your color A. and then join with a slip stitch. You can join under both loops at this time. As for the rest of the pattern, we will be working, actually we'll be working in the back loop only, but you can still join under both loops. You're then going to chain 1, and we're going to work the toe. For rounds 30 to 33, simply working with color A, you're going to chain 1, and working in the back loop only all the way around, work 1 single crochet into each stitch. At the end of each round, I do recommend joining with a slip stitch in the top of your first stitch. Then chain 1 and repeat. So you want to work 3 rounds, 30, 31, or 4 rounds, and 30, 31, 32, and 33. So 4 rounds of single crochet in the back loop only, and then meet me back here at the end of round 33. At the end of round 33, you'll have worked 4 rounds of single crochet in the back loop only. We're now going to start working some decrease rounds. So for round 34 with color A, working in the back loop only all the way around, we're going to single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches. You're then going to work a single crochet 2 together. Insert your hook in the back loop only of the next stitch, yarn up over, drop a loop. Insert your hook into the back loop only of the next stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. With 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. You're going to repeat that all the way around. Single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches. And then single crochet 2 stitches together. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of round 34, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. And you're now going to have a total of 64 stitches. For round 35, chain 1. Working in the back loop only all the way around, you're going to single crochet in each of the first 6 stitches. You're then going to single crochet 2 stitches together. Repeat that all the way around, single crochet in the back loop only of each of the next 6 stitches. And then single crochet 2 together, once again in the back loop only. Repeat this all the way around. At the end of round 35, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. You're going to have a total of 56 stitches. For round 36, chain 1, working in the back loop only all the way around, you're going to single crochet into each of the first 5 stitches. And then single crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. And single crochet 2 stitches together, all the way around until you come to your first stitch. At the end of round 36, you're going to have a total of 48 stitches. Join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch and chain 1. For round 37, working in the back loop all the way around, you're going to work a single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. Then single crochet 2 stitches together. Repeat that all the way around. Working in the back loop only, you're going to single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. and then single crochet 2 stitches together all the way around until you come to the first stitch. At the end of round 37, join with a slip stitch into the top of that first stitch, chain 1, and for round 38, you've probably guessed it by now, but we're going to single crochet into the back loop only of each of the first 3 stitches. And then single crochet 2 stitches together. Single crochet into the back loop only of each of the next 3 stitches, and single crochet 2 stitches together all the way around. At the end of round 38, you'll have a total of 36 or 32 stitches. You're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch, chain 1 for round 39, working in the back loop only, single crochet into each of the first 2 stitches, and then work a single crochet 2 together. Repeat that around, single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and single crochet 2 stitches together all the way around until you come to that first stitch. At the end of round 39, join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. You'll have a total of 24 stitches. You're now going to chain 1, working in the back loop only, single crochet into that first stitch, and then work a single crochet 2 together. Single crochet into the next stitch, and single crochet 2 together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet 2 together until you come to your first stitch. At the end of this round, we're going to have a total of 16 stitches. I'm simply going to keep working. You should see the toe of your stocking closing nicely now. And then join with a slip stitch into the top of that first stitch, chain 1. We have one more round to work. For round 41, chain 1, single crochet 2 together, working in the back loop only of each stitch all the way around. At the end of this round, you can join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch, and you're going to fasten off, leaving a little bit of a long tail. You're then going to use that long tail to sew the toe of your stocking. I'm just going to grab a yarn needle here. You can turn the toe inside out if you wish. Otherwise, you're just going to simply weave in and out through this top round of stitches. All the way around, just like so. When you come to your first stitch, you're just going to pull it closed, just as I did there. You may wish to secure it a little bit down here at the bottom of the toe. And then I'm going to pass my yarn through to the inside. where I can tuck in my ends. I'm going to do that a little later on, as before we end here, I'll just show you my stocking, and then we're going to work a quick hanger. So I have my cuff up here all the way down to my toe. Then you may wish, especially if this stocking is going to be hung, you're going to want to crochet a little bit of a hanger at the back. So what you're going to do is lay your stocking flat, and then I like to join my yarn, whatever color you choose. I'm going to go back to my color A here, and I'm going to join my color B with a slip stitch just on the inside at the center back here of my stocking. I'm just joining it through the first single crochet there, or double crochet down here at the base of my stocking cuff. I'm going to join it. You're then going to chain 15. You're then going to slip stitch back into the same place on the back of your stocking. Chain 1, and now turn your work so that you're able to work into that chain that you just made. You're then going to work slip stitches all along that chain all the way back to the other side. All the way across. And then for a little bit of extra strength in my final one, I just like to slip stitch back into the stocking, just in that same place. Especially if you're going to be putting anything inside these Christmas stockings, I do recommend making sure that the hanger is quite secure. So I'm going to actually tie a knot here and then go ahead after the knot and tuck in those ends using a yarn needle. But that is the hanger for your Christmas stocking. And that's all there is to working the Pink Ponies Christmas stocking. I hope you enjoy it. I do have several other Christmas stockings that sort of match this style that would make a wonderful set if you were looking to make a few for Christmas this year. Thank you so much for joining me. Once again, I invite you to subscribe, take a look around, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Happy crocheting and happy holidays. I'll see you soon. Bye.